Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day and has had a good day so far. As always, we have a pretty big slate when it comes to Saturday. I didn't have a video yesterday. It was a small slate and I couldn't find anything that I like. So I've always said that if I don't find any plays that I like, that I'm not going to post quality over quantity. But with a big slate like this, I should easily be able to find at least a couple plays, which is what I have here. I have 2 money line plays and 2 player prop plays. And as always, if I have any added plays, it will be in the pinned comment. I do work early in the morning, so I will try to post plays if I find any that I like when I can. I usually try to put them about an hour to 30 minutes before each of the games starts. So, for example, if a game starts at 10 a.m. your time, try to check around 9 to 9:30 because that's when lineups are out. Some players might be playing that I didn't anticipate playing. Some players might be playing in different positions and stuff like that. So it's easier to find some value right before the games are going to start. So if you do want more plays, keep an eye out for that in the pinned comment. And any pictures you see on the screen is from the data app called Outlier, which is linked in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with my link in the description. There's no reason not to try it. It's a 7-day free trial. It's a great app where you can find plays. They backs up stats. You could do it based on matchup. You could do it based on home and away. You can do it based on certain, with or without certain teammates. You can do it based on all that. You can do it not just on soccer, on all sports. So if you use that free trial, not only can you use it on soccer, but you can use it for all sports, NBA, NFL, all of that. So great resource app. Link for that in the description. But I'll get straight into my plays. Like I mentioned before, I have 2 player prop plays so far, and the first one is Julian Brandt to go higher than 1.5 shots assisted at home for Dortmund going up against Cologne. He's gone over in both starts so far this season. He's been in and out of the lineup, but he should be starting in this game. He's a good attacking midfielder. He's a good playmaker. He had more shots assisted than shots last season, so that shows you the type of player that he is. He's much more of a player that's going to pass the ball as opposed to shoot it. He averaged 2.37 shots assisted per 9 last season, and in 28 starts that he played, he went over in 75% of games. 21 out of 28 games in which he started, he went over. And in those games, he averaged 17 passes into the final third from 39 total passes. So over half of his passes are him constantly passing it into the box to try to find his teammates, whether it's sending them through balls, whether it's crossing the ball, which he's pretty good at. Whatever it is, he will try to find his teammates, which is what I like. And good, he has a good matchup here against Cologne, who so far on average have allowed the 6th most shots and the 6th most shots assisted to opponents so far. So that just means that they are a vulnerable team. Not only can opponents get shots from just their own selves, but they tend to do it from opponents passing the ball to their own teammates. Besides, if you look at the shots that they've allowed so far, they go from allowing 12.3 shots at home up to 16.5 away. So that's just more chances. They're a team that have averaged so far the 4th least possession overall per game, so that's even more opportunities. I like the line, good hit rate, and a good matchup. So like Julian Brandt to go higher than 1.5 shots. And the second play that I found that I like so far is Matteo Politano to go under 0.5 shots on target at home for Napoli, going up against Inter Milan. He's not really a shooter. He's taken 16 shots so far in the league, and only 1 of those have been on target. So with that being said, he's gone under in 5 of 6 games that he has started so far, and 83% hit rate, which is what I like. Yes, a tough matchup here against Inter. No reason to explain why it's Inter. Inter is a good defense. They're also another possession-based team, which means less chances than what he usually would, which is good for us. He played him 4 times across the last 2 seasons, started in all 4 of those games. And he went under in all 4 of those games. So 100% hit rate against him across the last 2 seasons. And in those 4 games altogether, he took 3 total shots. So he might not even get a shot in general. He might be able to take one, but it's a good chance he's not on target. Overall, last season, he averaged 1.78 shots per 90, and a lot of those weren't even on target. He doesn't play the full 90 a lot of the times. In the 6 games that he has started so far, he's been subbed out in 4 of those 6 games, all of those before even the 80th minute. Besides, according to Outlier, he's gone under this play in the last 15 out of 18 games against top 10 teams for shots conceded. So again, this correlates with what I mentioned in the beginning, is that he has a tough matchup here. Napoli as a team are currently on back-to-back losses, so not in great form. Not only is he not in great form, but his team isn't either. It's a tough matchup here. Good history against them, so I like to play Matteo Politano to go under 0.5 shots on target. But as always, before I get into the money line play, I'll really appreciate it if everybody liked the video and commented as well. It's a great way to support the channel. It helps boost the video out 2 more people, and I post all my plays for free. So why not help the channel just a little bit more? And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified when these videos do go out. And I do also let y'all know in my Discord, which is linked in the description, which is completely free. I mentioned you get all my plays for free. All the plays that I do have, I post them here. The Discord is just for those that want to get notified again when the videos go out. If I don't have a video and I have plays that I like, I post them there as well. And it's also a great community where people post their own plays on all sports. Any sport you can bet on, people bet them on there. So it's no reason not to join. It's completely free. I mentioned Outlier in the beginning of the video, so I really want to thank anybody and everybody who supports me in any way. I have 2 money line plays. The first one, I am bringing the day 1 of the ladder challenge. For those that don't know, you don't have to follow the ladder challenge. It's something I like to do for fun. It's across 5 days. I try to find plays anywhere between plus 100 to minus 150. Start with 25, and if we hit all 5 days, it should be around the $500 mark. So we're starting day 1 right now. Both of these, this first place in the German Bundesliga, I got this play for plus 110, and that's the Borussia Dortmund 3A money line going up against the FC Köln. You could take their over 1.5 goals, but 1, it's more juice than this, and 2, it covers us just in case they end up winning 1-0. But they shook off that 2-1 loss away from home to Bayern 2 games ago with a 2-4 away win in the Champions League to Copenhagen. And that loss to Bayern has been the only loss that they've had so far this season. They've drawn some and they've won some, but that Bayern game is the only one that they've lost. And the main key that I like about this Dortmund team this season is that they fixed their leakiness on defense that they had last season. A lot of the reason why they couldn't win some of those games or they lost some of those games were because they couldn't stop opponents from scoring. But in 4 home games that they've played so far this season, they have kept a clean sheet in 2 of those 4 and have won 3 of those 4. And so far in the league, they have had 8 different goal scorers so far. So Guirassy could be out this game, but I'm not worried about it because they have other teammates that can score as well. Besides, Fabio Silva could start in this game if Guirassy doesn't, and he came off the bench in the Champions League last game against Copenhagen, scored in that game, and I like him as a player, honestly. Last season, he played in Las Palmas, a team that was relegated. It wasn't great offensively, and he was still able to get 13 goals and assists in 25 games there. And now that he has better help around him, a better team around him, he can easily get more than that. And it shows last game when they played against Copenhagen. He started, that was the most minutes he played so far, like 27 minutes, and he scored in that game. So I like him too. And after 7 games so far, Köln have averaged, on average, allowed 14.7 shots to opponents, which is pretty high. It's a good matchup here, so I like the Borussia Dortmund 3 money line going up against Köln. And the second play that I found that I like is in the Italian league in the Serie A, and that's no to Parma to win at least 1/2 going up against Como. All this basically means is that in the 2, pretty much think of this as 2 plays in 1 in the game. Pretty much Parma can be winning by halftime, and then in the second half, think of it the score resetting 0-0, and they can't win that half. So they can't win either of them, and I like this play because it's a tough matchup for them. Again, this play goes across 2 halves. The way I think of it as well is if you look at the Como to win or draw, it is currently at minus 420. So it just shows you that the odds are against Parma. I don't see them winning this game in general. Across 7 league games for Parma that they've played so far, so that's 14 halves so far. This play has hit in 13 of those 14 halves, so a 93% hit rate. They're not a great team. The only half in which they were able to win was against Torino in the first half, and the only reason why they won that half was because they received a penalty. But Como have yet to give up a penalty so far. Parma have the worst offense so far, only scoring 3. One of those being a penalty, and now they're playing Como, who have so far the second best defense in the league so far, which is what I like. They've conceded 5 and 7 so far, and have allowed on average 11.4 shots to opponents, which is not a lot. They're a possession-based team, so they're gonna stop Parma from having the ball and being able to score. And they're coming off that big win against Juventus. They kept a clean sheet, won that game 2-0, and in the 4 halves that they played last season, so they played twice last season, home and away. In those 4 halves, that play hit in all 4 halves. They won 1-0 in one game, so obviously they didn't even have a chance. And then in the other game, they drew 1-1. Both of the goals came in the first half, so both of those halves were draws. And I just like this play. Tough matchup for Parma. I don't see them winning this game, and you get good value taking this instead of Como or a draw. So I like no to Parma to win at least 1 half going up against Como. Pair with Borussia Dortmund 3 money line for day 1 of the ladder challenge for plus 110. I have one more slip that I found that I like. I got it for plus 103. The first play, both of these plays actually are in France, which is in League One, and the first play is over 1.5 PSG goals going up against Brest. It is the same juice if you take their 3 on money line, but I don't see them winning 1-0. I can easily see them scoring more than one. They're coming off a very big 2-7 win away from home against Leverkusen. There were red cards on both teams. They were still able to score 7, and they're known to be a high-scoring team. They're playing the 5th worst defense in Ligue 1 so far in Brest, who have conceded 14 goals in 8 games. And in those 8 games, 5 of those had they conceded 2+. Besides, those games in which they were conceding a lot were against actually good offensive, better offenses. They conceded 3 to Lille, 3 to Lens, and 2 to Toulouse. Now they're playing PSG. They actually played each other 4 times last season, twice in the league and twice in the Champions League and like the quarterfinals, round of 16, whatever it was. And this play hit, and all 4 of those games scoring 7 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals. So we just need them to score 2. They didn't seem to struggle in those games. They dominated possession in all of them. And when it comes to the league table so far, I know it's still early on to the season, but they're currently down 1 point to Marseille, and Marseille have a 6-goal difference superiority against them. So there's a good matchup for them to take advantage and keep scoring. They're not going to stop after just scoring 1. Brest are weak on the wings, and PSG play a front line of all wingers. It's going to be some type of combination of Dembele, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, and Doué. They don't really play a main striker other than Gonzalo Ramos, but he shouldn't start in this game. They play a front line of all wingers, so they're going to get plenty of chances. Great history against them, so I like this play. Higher than 1.5 PSG goals going up against Brest. And the second play, again, is also in League 1, and that's higher than 11.5 Marseille shots going up against Lens. We took their over 8.5 in the last game, and they came through. They had 8 shots by halftime and could have easily cleared it. They ended with 10 shots, so our play hit. They didn't get those 12 shots, but the only reason why they weren't able to get more is because they got a 45-minute red card right before halftime. So they were able to get 8 shots by halftime, could have easily had more. They had a tough matchup then away from home. Now they're away again, and they have a slightly better matchup in my opinion. Lens on average have allowed 13.8 shots to opponents. They don't play possession, which Marseille do, which means more opportunities for Marseille. They have fouled, Lens have fouled the 7th most to opponents per game, have the 6th most yellow cards and the 3rd most red cards, which means set piece opportunities, which means shots from either free kicks or set pieces in general. And they're weak at defending long shots, which is what I really like, because I mentioned in the last video as well, Marseille have shooters in their team like Mason Greenwood, O'Reilly, Paixão, Emerson. It's just a good matchup, and I also expect this game to be a close game, which means they're going to keep shooting even if they might be barely up, or if they're down, that just even means they'll keep shooting. So I like the play as well, and I like the matchup, so I higher than 11.5 Marseille shots going up against Lens, paired with over 1.5 PSG goals for plus 103. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, I will quickly go over last video's plays. It wasn't the best day. I know moneyline wise we went 0-2. We had Fiorentina or draw going up against Rapid Vienna. That play hit, and then we had the Strasbourg 3 moneyline going up against the Jagiellona team. They tied 1-1. They didn't have their main starters. They conceded a goal. They subbed in their starters, and then they were able to score. But if they would have just started their team, they easily could have won that game. And then the other play, Real Betis to win their draw going up against Genk. That play hit. They always come through for us. And then we have Porto to score against Nottingham Forest. They have a great offense playing against a team that had conceded every single game so far this season. And what happened? They can't score. So it's just unfortunate. The Reeds were there. I'm not disappointed in making those plays, but we can always bounce back from that. And then player prop wise, I had 3 added plays. I don't exactly remember what those plays are, but I do remember one of them being the goalkeeper saves. He pushed. We had 1 play that hit and 1 play that missed, so it's 1-1 player prop wise. Overall, we're still on a pretty good run player prop wise, and I can hopefully continue to run going into this big slate, and we can bounce back from the money lines. I know we did good in the video before that. I'm always confident in my plays. I'm always going to post what I like, and like I mentioned, if I have any added plays, they will be in the pinned comment and posted on my Discord as well, so there's no reason not to join. But then that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.